One story that is certainly due to pick up pace is the storyline between Jabari and Tariq. In the mid-season trailer, we saw a clue and something that looks like it's going to be playing more of a role in the second half of the season, and that's Tariq's course correct app. And could this lead to a deadly consequence for one of three people, which includes Simon Stern's husband, Jabari, and Riley? So welcome back to MovieBot, and I'm talking about the consequences of Tariq's app.
The app is blowing up.
There's something that you're hiding.
It's time for war.
I thought we had a deal, Sax.
You can't trust anybody.
So hope you're all doing great, and welcome back to another mid-season trailer analysis video. And there was another trailer that came out yesterday for episode 6, but I did promise you guys that I will be releasing this video on Jabari and Tariq today. So I'm going to be doing this one first because I did promise it to you guys, and then I will release my full trailer breakdown and predictions for episode 6 soon in the lead up to the episode. And there's just 2 weeks left before we finally get episode 6. It's been a long wait, but I'll bring these trailer breakdown videos and storyline breakdowns as and when they come. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button. But first, let's talk about Jabari and Tariq and the mid-season trailer, and let's talk about that clue that some of you may have missed, because with regards to their storyline and especially Tariq's course correct app, because this is Jabari's hand and he's just found the course correct app, but does he actually know who's behind the app as of yet? Because the only two people who know who are behind it are Tariq and Braden. Well, Simon Stern husbands as well as Sebastian, who I'm going to come to later on in the video, but it looks like Jabari has found the app, and I'm going to come to how it may have a deadly consequence to Jabari later on in the video. But the rate at which Tariq's business is growing really can't be underestimated, as in episode 4, Diana came and delivered more product to Tariq after he established himself as the number 1 in the game at Stansfield. He cleverly got rid of his competition Scott with the use of Braden and his surname Weston, ironically something that Effie had to do to Tariq at Choate, and who I believe Tariq learned a thing or two from. And in the mid-season trailer, we see him talking to most likely Braden when he's telling him that he is focused and the app is blowing up. And then he's asking Monet for more work because 1, he needs to pay Davis McLean, and 2, I'm sure he's going to owe Monet a lot of money after he's had a stash stolen from Trace, which I'm sure we'll see them address in the first 2 episodes or so. And I'm going to come to the blackmail game and a potential death in just a moment, because this is something that I spoke about previously, and I think the blackmail game could be a real thing as we move into the last half of the season. But with Jabari being on Tariq, telling him that he's hiding something from him, why is he acting like a kind of a father figure to Tariq? And it goes back to Jabari's character description, which reads, once a rising star in the literary world, Jabari Reynolds finds himself on the outskirts of fame after the failure of his second novel, leading him to accept a position at Stansfield University and reunite with fellow professor and former Flame Carrie Milgram. As one of 3 professors in the exclusive canonical studies program, Jabari imposes himself as a father figure to the disinterested Tariq, but he quickly finds that it's difficult to know someone who wants to remain unknown. And now I'm just going to give my opinion on Jabari trying to impose himself as a father figure to Tariq, because personally I don't understand Jabari's character, because if Tariq wanted a father figure, then he wouldn't have killed his own, and to be honest with you, he had a lot more of a connection with Kanan than he did with Ghost. But to me personally, Jabari, he just seems very lost in this storyline. He's only known Tariq for a minute and he's already trying to impose himself as a father figure to him, which of course Tariq is never going to accept. And let's talk about what Jabari did in episode 5, so let's rewind it, because we saw him turning Tariq's 15-page assignment into a 25-page assignment. And the minute he mentioned Tariq's parents, Tariq flipped a switch and told Jabari that he needs to do his job instead of trying to be his dad. We know Jabari is in trouble in the literary world because of his next novel. If it flops, then he'll be let go by his agent, and this is what led him to copying Tariq's work. And I'm actually wondering whether Jabari is reading between the lines of Tariq's work, which reads, sacrificing your greatest treasure without thinking about the consequences and focusing instead of making another person happy may not make sense to the average person, but I believe sacrifice for the people we love is a part of life. It's supposed to be. It's not something to regret, it's something to which we should aspire. Sometimes it's the only thing to be proud of, the only thing we've done right. So is Jabari actually reading between the lines of Tariq's paper as well as copying him? And is this the reason, as well as finding the course correct app, which could lead him to questioning Tariq about something going on, which we saw in the mid-season trailer? Now this is where the blackmail game could come into play, and I'm going to talk about potential death in just a moment, because the clues are there from the mid-season trailer. Jabari's found Tariq's app, but does he know Tariq is behind it? Because if he does find out, could this then lead to Tariq into blackmailing Jabari once he finds out that he's been copying his work for his next novel? I think it's a real possibility, and I've spoken about the blackmail game before and how Tariq has a history of blackmailing people, especially with Cooper Saxe. But with Jabari finding out about the app, it's very dangerous, because this doesn't just mess with Tariq's line of business, it affects the Tejada organization, it affects Monet, Lorenzo and Kane. So him finding out Tariq is behind the app actually puts him in danger, and in the firing line, he knows more than he should, and if I were him, I'd stay well clear. And Jabari isn't the only one who could be in danger. There's Simon Stan's husband Sebastian and Riley too. But let's talk about Sebastian quickly before I move on to Riley, because there's a lot I want to say on Riley. For Sebastian, he is the man behind the app, but he actually doesn't know the true extent at which Tariq is using it for. So if he does, could this actually make him want a bigger piece of the cake? Because we've seen how money hungry he is for cash, but it does also put him in the firing line as well if he knows about the app and what it's actually used for. So Simon Stan's husband, he's also in the firing line and in a potential dangerous situation. Now Riley Merchant, this is the one I want to talk about in a bit more detail, because I mentioned a couple of videos ago that we never really saw Riley in the mid-season trailer, and I did think even though we never saw her in the trailer, I would still expect her to play a major role in the first 2 episodes in the second half of the season. And Power released a teaser for episode 6 and she's doing just this. She's taking a picture of her phone, which may be Tariq's phone, it may be Brayden's phone, and Tariq's questioned her before when he was drugged, why is she always there? You know, he's always had a bad feeling about Riley since the beginning, and her being around Tariq and Brayden all the time, I'm sure she'll get to know about the app, because later on in the episode, you can see her screaming at Cooper Saxe, saying Brayden isn't part of any of this. I fully expect Riley to expose the app to Cooper Saxe, and I expect Saxe to continue using Riley to spy on Tariq, and well, maybe Brayden as well, and so this actually puts Riley at risk now, because I feel she knows way more than she should, and I've actually made a death predictions video a while ago, and I actually think Riley, it's not looking good for her. I personally think the person who's at the most risk out of all the 3 that I've spoken about in this video, Jabari, Sebastian and Riley, I feel Riley is the one that's in the most danger, because she's Cooper Saxe's niece, and whatever Saxe touches, it doesn't go well. And I actually think Riley's death could come in many ways. Kane could kill her, Monet could kill her if she tries to expose Tariq's way of doing business, because it affects her business, don't forget. And if Riley is killed, if she is, then I've said it in previous videos, her blood will be on Saxe's hands. And if and when Tariq finds out that Riley is Cooper Saxe's niece, then shit is gonna kick off. And I really wouldn't want to be in Cooper Saxe's shoes when that happens, because he's digging himself a big grave, and I think he'll continue to do so, because I fully expect him to continue pushing Riley to get more and more information from Tariq and Brayden. So with all of that being said, I want to know what your opinion on Jabari, Sebastian and Riley are, because those are the 3 that I think are in the firing line, and those are the 3 that I think are at most risk of being killed off. And did you notice the clue that they gave in the mid-season trailer that Jabari has found Tariq's app course correct? Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section, and if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button. But tomorrow I've got another video which is kind of a follow-up to this one, because I'm going to be talking about Zeke and what we saw from him in the mid-season trailer with Carrie, and I'll be speaking a bit about Jabari's role in that too. So Zeke is the topic of discussion tomorrow, and his potential deadly consequence or potential injury. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.